job creation. And, look, we call it like we see it. President Obama did hand Donald Trump a stable, or at least more stable economy. But what does she have to say to make this a stronger bond?
So they need to help each other and help each other in the area of trade. With Brexit, the UK is going through a fundamental redefinition of its trading relations. The US is looking to renegotiate some of its long-standing bilateral and multilateral agreements. So the special relationship should provide an anchor for both sides on the trade side. And that's what I would look to. That's what I would call success, is that they come together and anchor each other's new trading relations. There are other things on the security front that are critical, but on the economic front, it's about trade.
Trade, trade, trade. And one last word, certainly, about Dow 20,000. You have the Wall Street Journal saying, oh, it's anachronistic. Look, it's a psychological round number. Now what metric are you looking at? Forget Dow 20,000. We're to it and through it.
The dollar. The one thing that worries me is that if other countries do not join the U.S., the dollar will appreciate too much. Why? Because this economy is attracting more inflows, and because the Fed will deliver on at least 3 hikes this year. So the concern is that the dollar appreciates too much. So keep an eye on the dollar. That's going to have a big influence on what other markets do.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. dollar is slightly weaker today, and that is driving oil up because, of course, oil is denominated in dollars. But, Mohammed, you remain optimistic?
Yes, I do.
Great to have you. Mohammed Al-Arian of Allianz. And again, I want to direct your attention to what is on the screen. This is Philadelphia, and we are awaiting Theresa May, the UK Prime Minister's speech. And it is expected to be heavy on the, quote, special relationship. She is going to underscore, look, there's a little bit of whistling past the graveyard. She needs the United States right now if she is forging ahead, and we know she is, with Brexit, with the exit of the United Kingdom from the European Union. Peter Barnes is in Washington, D.C., and as we watch together, in Philadelphia, as we watch this and wait, what do you think this crowd really wants to hear from Theresa May? And it's going to be a friendly crowd, I would imagine.
Yes, it will be a friendly crowd. There's no question about that. And obviously, trade will be the big item on the agenda for Theresa May and for President Trump when they meet tomorrow, trying to get a bilateral deal. But I do also want to bring you the headlines we're getting from President Trump's flight back from Philadelphia after his remarks here, and on a question of how he wants to pay or will propose to pay for the wall, for this the wall on the Mexican border. And his spokesman, Sean Spicer, the press secretary, just told reporters on Air Force One in the last few minutes that President Trump plans to propose a 20% tax on all imports of products from Mexico. Now, we import about $300 billion a year from Mexico, for a lot of it energy-related oil. So that would bring in theory, about $60 billion a year. The cost of building the wall is, I think, the highest estimates are well below that. But then you have operations and all that as well. But that is the news we're getting off of Air Force One, just as President Trump gets back to the White House. Liz?
Maybe we can put that up as a banner, that Donald Trump is expecting to institute a 20% tax on all incoming products from Mexico. Let us just be very clear. That makes products that Americans like to buy cheaply more expensive. For every action, there may be an equal and opposite reaction. Peter, please stand there. We are hearing some preamble in advance of Theresa May and her speech, but quickly before then, let me bring in John Stossel. I'm so glad you're here. You, as a libertarian, you had written an op-ed, and in it you said, Donald Trump has made a lot of promises. I do hope he doesn't keep some of them. John, he's keeping a lot of campaign promises.
Unfortunately, like that one, well, 20% isn't as bad as 35% that he talked about, but it's awful. It's not just that it's a 20% tax on American consumers. It's a 20% tax on businesses that make things using imported products, which is just about every business. So much of what Trump has been doing is great, and his people are great, but Wilbur Ross is a crony capitalist who admires China's 5-year plans, and these tariffs are awful.
What is the worst thing about the tariffs, and beyond making things more expensive for United States consumers?
terrible idea. There's nothing. It's just the kind of
U.S.
thing.
workers, he would say.
And for everyone it helps, it hurts 5. And hurts consumers too. Yes, some workers are helped, their jobs are protected.
And,
More jobs will be lost.
and here we have UK Prime Minister Theresa May. Let's listen in as she addresses the GOP and its 3-day get-together. Well, thank you very much for that fantastic welcome. And can I say, Majority Leader McConnell, Mr. Speaker, distinguished members of the Senate and representatives of the House, I would like to thank Congress and the Congressional Institute for the invitation to be here today. The opportunity to visit the United States is always special, and to be invited to be the first serving head of government to address this important conference is an honor indeed. I defy any person to travel to this great country at any time and not to be inspired by its promise and its example. For more than 2 centuries, the very idea of America, drawn from history and given written form in a small hall not far from here, has lit up the world. That idea, that all are created equal and that all are born free, has never been surpassed in the long history of political thought. And it is here, on the streets and in the halls of this great city of Philadelphia, that the founding fathers first set it down, that the textbook of freedom was written, and that this great nation that grew from sea to shining sea was born. Since that day, it has been America's destiny to bear the leadership of the free world and to carry that heavy responsibility on its shoulders. But my country, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, has been proud to share that burden and to walk alongside you at every stage.
Stopping.
For the past century, Britain and America, and the unique and special relationship that exists between us, have taken the idea conceived by those 56 rank-and-file ordinary citizens, as President Reagan called them, forward. And because we have done so, time and again, it is the relationship between us that has defined the modern world. 100 years ago this April, it was your intervention in the First World War that helped Britain, France, our friends in the Commonwealth and other allies to maintain freedom in Europe. A little more than 75 years ago, you responded to the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor by joining Britain in the Second World War and defeating fascism not just in the Pacific, but in Africa and Europe too. And later, in the aftermath of these wars, our 2 countries led the West through the Cold War, confronting communism and ultimately defeating it, not just through military might, but by winning the war of ideas, and by proving that open, liberal, democratic societies will always defeat those that are closed, coercive, and cruel. But the leadership provided by our 2 countries through the special relationship has done more than win wars and overcome adversity. It made the modern world. The institutions upon which that world relies nations working together. The United Nations, in need of reform, but vital still, has its foundations in the special relationship. From the original declaration of St. James's Palace to the declaration by United Nations signed in Washington and drafted themselves by Winston Churchill and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The World Bank and International Monetary Fund, born in the post-war world of Bretton Woods, were conceived by our two nations working together. And NATO, the cornerstone of the West's defence, was established on the bonds of trust and mutual interests that exist between us. Some of these organisations are in need of reform and renewal to make them relevant to our needs today. But we should be proud of the role our two nations working in partnership played in bringing them into being and in bringing peace and prosperity to millions of people as a result. Because it is through our actions over many years, working together to defeat evil or to open up the world, that we have been able to fulfill the promise of those who first spoke of the special nature of the relationship between us, the promise of freedom, liberty, and the rights of man. We must never cease, Churchill said, to proclaim in fearless tones the great principles of freedom and the rights of man, which are the joint inheritance of the English-speaking world, and which, through Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, the habeas corpus, trial by jury, and the English common law, find their most famous expression in the American Declaration of Independence. So it is my honour and privilege to stand before you today in this great city of Philadelphia, to proclaim them again, to join hands as we pick up that mantle of leadership once more, to renew our special relationship, and to recommit ourselves to the responsibility of leadership in the modern world. And it is my honour and privilege to do so at this time, as dawn breaks on a new era of American renewal. For I speak to you not just as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, but as a fellow Conservative who believes in the same principles that underpin the agenda of your